Hey, this is Patriot Prepper. I entered a forum and I think the topic was your top three choices of survival tools. If you only had three choices, what would they be? Well, my three choices were: 1, survival knife; number 2 was a water bottle, or 3, fire starting, some way of start a fire. Now, not necessarily in those orders, but a knife is probably number 1, because you could do a lot with a knife, from defend yourself to creating shelters to skinning animals and game. You could do an awful lot with just a survival knife, so that may be my number 1 pick. Now, I just want to emphasize, if I had my choice, I'd want more than 3 tools, just to survive. But we're talking about, just something on a forum, and it's good exercise for your mind to think about, okay, if I had limited things to carry and I just had, what are my 3 top things that I never want to, be separated from? And I picked those 3. Now, I'm not saying they're right or wrong, and you might have different things, and under different environment, different circumstances, you may have different things that you think are more important in a survival situation. Anyway, so I picked the knife as number 1, I picked, like I said, number 2 was or 2 or 3 was a water bottle by Guyot Designs, and a blast match by Ultimate Survival Technologies. Alright, well, I'll just show you a few knives. This is just a couple knives that I have in my collection, and these are not all these are really what I consider survival knives. Now, some of them are pretty good knives, decent. These are low-end knives, and I'm gonna do a video on survival knives, and I'll show you some high-end knives. But I chose these because for a lot of preppers, these are some basic knives. This here is a U.S. Marine Corps, the K-bar. Everybody's pretty familiar with it. This is, to me, like the minimum level of quality. This is just about the minimum level of quality, and if you got something that's not even as good as this, then you could still make use of, you do the best you can. Now what I did is I chose the cold steel, and here it is. There's the cold steel Recon Scout. I don't know if you can read that. I like cold steel. It's a good brand. Now, if we compare this to the K-bar, they're almost similar lengths, a little bit different blade design. You can see it's a little wider design on the cold steel, and you could also see that the thickness. Look at the thickness of this knife versus the cold steel. The cold steel is like a 1/4 inch thick versus it's almost double the thickness. And if you ever saw, I just love the cold steel commercials, man. They're just great. They make these knives appear to do pretty miraculous things. The reason I picked this is because of the cost-value ratio. If you have a group that you're trying to supply, if your budget for about a little over $100, $110, you got a pretty darn good knife. If you can't afford that, the K-bars are about $65, maybe $70, and you could sometimes get these things cheaper if you really shop around. Alright, so I chose this as my number 1 tool. Okay, now number 2 tool is a blast match by Ultimate Survival Technologies. It's designed to be actually used one hand, and I'll demo this because basically you push down on here and you push this plunger into your tinder, your fire starting material, and it's magnesium. It's designed in moisture, wetness. If you got dry tinder, it works. It sparks really hot and it'll start a fire. I'll demo that. Hey y'all, this is Patriot Prepper. I'm going to show you how to use a blast match. It's by Ultimate Survival Technologies. This is designed to work in wet weather, water, well, not underwater, but in wet weather, one-handed. It's magnesium, one-hand operation. So basically what you do is you just release, well, it's one hand, you just release that, you fold it back, take the handle. It's easier to do if you hold it up against a part of your body, but essentially what you're going to do is you push down on this little lever and you push this against the object, and there's a little spring in there with tension, and it creates a spark, a hot spark. Alright, so I'm going to show you, I'm going to build a little bitty fire using this, but and I'm going to use some of this here stuff. This is dryer lint. You know, you guys know about this. You know, it's just collected from the dryer. I'm going to use that as the tinder to get the fire started. So I'll show you how this blast match works. Okay, hold on. Alright, so you take a little bit of something to start your fire. Basically, you take your blast match, you push down on this little lever here, take it, push it against the object, and push. You can see it's starting to flame started. I'll try to get some of this going. Yeah, this goes good here. Okay. Well, we got a little fire going. Put our little and number 3 is before I get to it, I want to show you just a simple concept here, you know, of fire starting. This is just a little kit I threw together. This is a little Remington bag because it's inexpensive. I got a few other things besides fire starting in here. I got some water purification, a 100-hour candle, you know, a cheap little knife. But I've got waterproof matches, waterproof container, dryer lint. Geez, this is another by Ultimate Survival Technologies. This is a flint magnesium stick with a little scraping striker, and then I've got these are really cool. I love these. This is a thick magnesium stick. This stuff is really, you shave off a little pile of it. You know, it comes with a little thing here to scrape it. You shave off that, build a little pile, and I've seen it light on top of water. Anyway, so you need a fire starting kit. You need a kit with redundancy. You know, there's at least 3-4 different ways to start a fire here. So you want redundancy. That's the number one thing you should have. Okay, now I'll get to the water bottle. Alright, now I'll show you the water bottle. But first I'm going to show you this Maxpedition. This is a VersaPack large. You know, it's got all different types of things. They got a lot of different things in here. I'm not going to go into it right now. Take a look at that. Don't start none, don't get none. I'm not going to go into all the details of this. I'll probably try to review this. Everybody's reviewed everything, and it sort of takes the fun out of it if you've already seen reviews. But anyway, this has a place for a water bottle, and you know, I've got fire starting in here. I've got water purification ability. I carry a survival knife. I carry also, you know, it's got a concealed carry department in the back, as you know, so carry a weapon in here. You know, pretty much I can survive. I got a medical kit. I got a lot of stuff in here. These are nice little bags. They're sturdy, they're strong, they're laid out really nice. Oh, anyway, oh yeah, this is where I keep the water bottle. It's right here. So I got a Velcro strap. Just pull it. You could tighten it up, cinch it up. Just pull on there, tighten that down. And here's the water bottle. It's Nalgene by Guyot Designs. It's a very thick bottle, and the reason I like this is that it's easy to carry. I got it with me, and what I like about it is a very thick gauge compared to a lot of water bottles, and I like the width of it. You know, it's wide up here. Plus, you could take these straps off. You see, you just pull on that, and this comes off. And you could take this, fill it with water, put it over fire, and you boil your water. Then once you're done with it and it cools off, you put this back on. It's kind of hard to do this without setting it in my lap. Tighten it down, put the cap on, and you've got some water ready to go, ready to drink. So that's it. Guyot Designs. These are about $25 to $30. Nice value. I like it because it fits in my Maxpedition. Before I go, I want to make use of another real light, simple, something real light and simple. Just, you know, this is, I got so much stuff in here, but is paracord. You know, this is really critical stuff, especially for, you could build a shelter, you could do all, I mean, it's amazing stuff. This is really amazing. So I've got over 100 feet, and I cut it into various length cords, hanks, you know, and tie it up so it's handy, easy to go, you know. And so, you know, it'd be a shame to get stuck with just 3 items to survive, but if you did, I picked those top 3, but paracord might be number 4 on my list. It's hard to say. I haven't really thought about that because I try to carry as much stuff as I humanly can. And this is just a little everyday bag, Maxpedition. It's not my gold bag. In my gold bag, I've got enough stuff there. If I could find fresh water sources and, you know, maybe just a small amount of food, I can live almost indefinitely if I had to. Be very primitive and uncomfortable, but that's the bottom line. I almost forgot. This here is this blast match. You can buy it separate, or it comes in a little box like this, waterproof little box. Filled with all kinds of things. I will review this. This is a nice little thing. It's got a little booklet. It's got some wet tinder, wet fire they call it. It works even in when it's wet. That's why they call it wet fire. It's got a jet stream whistle, which it's a very good whistle. Even when it's cold out, it's made out of plastic, but it's loud enough, and it doesn't stick to your lips if it's cold. It's got a signal mirror, plus you know, oh well, if you're trying to signal, we're probably trying to hide. And then the last thing it's got here is which I think is incredibly great, is an actual chainsaw blade. Hold on a second. You know, a lot of these saws actually, you know, they'll break if you put too much pressure on them, and they're hard to cut anything. But this is an actual chainsaw blade, and if you ever used one of these things, man, they're sharp. They work really nice. It's got nice handles here, so you know, grab it, you know, start sawing. Alright, so those are my choice of the top 3 survival items that I would take if I were in a survival situation and limited to 3. Now, this is just an arbitrary thing, and I think, like I said, it just gets you to think a little bit about what you're doing and what you would have and what you want to make sure you always have near you or with you. Some form of water gathering and purification, fire starting, because you can do a lot with fire from providing shelter, and also the knife, a survival knife for, as I stated, you know, skinning game, building shelter, self-defense. You know, it's one of the most handy items of survival, I think, that you can actually have. All right, well, it's Patriot Prepper. God bless you, and I hope this is interesting and useful for you. And see you in the next video. But before I go, I want to say one thing, and that is to keep on prepping. You know what I mean. Keep on prepping. Always prep. God bless you. Patriot Prepper, over and out.